YouTube? What's going on? We're back with more of the First Descendant. We got Lepic out, rocking an absolutely crazy build here for you guys. So this is a weapon, melee attack build, and I utilize the Shadow Sword in this, and it is a destroyer of mobs and a wrecker of fucking bosses. This thing is so fun to use. The survivability is off the charts. If you're looking for a sword build and you're looking for a Descendant to run a sword, the Lepic is definitely slept on. This build is insane. I absolutely love it. If you guys do too, please feel free to turn on those notifications, sub to the channel, drop a like. Build. Alright, this is my Lepic Shadow build. This is an awesome build. If you're looking for a build that utilizes swords, you can utilize this with any of the swords. I really like the Shadow, so this is what I'm going to showcase today here for you guys. The build is insane. Again, the weapon build with Lepic just wasn't hitting right, so made some tweaks, decided to run it with the sword, and oh my god, this thing is an absolute destroyer. So showcase run is in there for you guys, and we're about to hit this in detail for you. Extremely fun build. I hope you guys use it and utilize it, and maybe even just improve on it to get some insane clear times off of this. It's extremely fun to use. You're tanky. I have not died once yet using this setup with the sword and the way things kind of jive together with the traction grenade. So here she goes. When it comes to the reactor, doesn't matter what reactor you run. Again, we're not spec'd to skill power. Duration and cooldown are king. Again, we want the duration up and the skill cooldown because we want to have a perfect loop with our traction grenade, so we're constantly able to spam it and group the enemies. That's the crux of the build. Is the traction grenade really is what pulls pulls the build together. When it comes to the external components, run this with the 4-piece Manus set. Again, you get the additional weapon attack increase of 6%. So again, when you get to the 4-piece set, grants the Knight's willpower. Again, 1 stack every second, 2 stacks when you're hitting the just a normal melee attack up to 10 stacks. At 10 stacks, it just converts to Night Strike, and then the Night Strike increases our range by 10% and deals additional damage equal to 22% of melee weapon attack, which is through the roof. So just nice gains within the power of the build. There isn't very many Descendant modules, if any, that increase melee attack, so we have to find those gains in other ways. The Manus 4-piece set is one of those ways to go about doing that. The other ways are in the Inversion Reinforcement, which we will go over. So when it comes to the cores, I like to run this with max HP and defense on all of my 4-piece set. Again, just synergizes nice with the build, good survivability. When it comes to the rolls, again, you're looking for HP increases, HP heal increases, MP heal increases. Even though this is not a skill build, we do need the MP to get our traction grenade back as the crux of the build. So again, a little bit of MP recovery modifiers or stuff like that will help. On the auxiliary, I've got max HP fire resistance, great. Mana sensor, we got some shield recovery out of combat. We don't really need that. I would like this to be MP recovery in combat. HP recovery modifier, it's exactly what we're looking for. Just need something a little bit better on that HP recovery or the shield recovery out of combat. It's not really doing anything for us. Again, MP recovery modifier, that's great. The evasive research radius, don't need that. Again, if you had a little bit of elemental resistance in there, or again maybe an HP modifier, something like that. Shield in combat, something like that along those lines, definitely be swapping that out. And again, max shield toxic resistance. When it comes to the processor, it's exactly what we're looking for. Something related to shields that are that directly benefit from, and then some elemental resistance. So that's kind of the crux of what you'd be looking for in the build. There's definitely gains that we could have in our 4-piece set. As you can see, this build is extremely cushy. We got 17,000 hit points with almost 100,000 shields, and that's further increased with other modules that we're using within our weapon with the Shadow. So lots of survivability in this build. Absolutely love it, and you can obviously switch around to whatever you can come off the survivability, try to find more gains into power, but I mean I have a pretty balanced build right now. We'll go over some options too. Arche Tuning, again, I'm running this with the Shadow, so again everything that we want is to make sure that we're speccing into melee weapon attack damage. And again with the Shadow, it's an additional attack weapon, or the way I built it out, so having the additional attack chance and the additional attack damage is absolutely huge for this weapon. It also helps trigger another module slaughter, which inflicts fatal wounds, so having the additional attacks is really key to the build. So this is just my Arche Tuning tree. Again, everything that you can to get yourself into some of those additional attacks, and obviously get as many of those just enhanced weapon attack modules that you can. Comes to the Inversion Reinforcement, so again this is the spot where we're able to gain, again there's not very many modules that benefit melee attack, but within the Inversion Reinforcement we do have a couple of nodes that definitely help us out quite a bit, and one of those is the blade trajectory correction. Again, melee weapon attack on melee hit, it grants the blade trajectory correction, melee weapon attack plus 2.6% for 15 seconds up to 10 stacks. So there we go, we immediately get a 20% weapon attack bump by running this. So that's absolutely huge. That's just hitting them with the weapon. When it comes to the survivability, I like to run this with the HP node, or the selective cellular stimulation. Again, every 30 seconds we're regenerating a set percent chance of HP. It just helps keep us alive. Again, if you were not worried about the survivability and you're running out of mana, you can switch it up. So I'm running this in synergy with my HP fellow or my HP dog, so that I'm generating regaining HP on set intervals and times. You can just switch it over to the mana and just recoup mana if you wanted to, if you felt that survivability was good. So swapping in this to the selective neurostimulation with your MP fellow will net you the MP recovery back, probably more than what you would need to keep that traction grenade up the whole time without having to worry about MP loss consumption. That really hasn't happened to me. There's just MP orbs lying all over the place. So going with the survivability on this. An instant acceleration protocol, again this is what I was getting into with the additional attacks, why I respect into it in the Arche Tuning. Our Shadow is built exclusively around the additional attack chances and damage. So again, when landing a melee weapon additional attack, instant acceleration is is procced. Attack speed modifier, again that's more damage, and additional attack damage increased by 6.8% for 30 seconds up to 5 stacks. So we're getting a 30% increased additional attack damage, and basically like 10, 11, 12% additional speed attack modifier, which is huge. So again, this is what I run specifically for the Shadow. I run it as an additional attack weapon, so that's why I've spec'd into this node. There's other ones here, but again, you can utilize them for other weapons, and I will be going over a Hypernova build for the medium void vessel. Descendant modules. So when it comes to the trigger module, we run this with the Blazing Zone. Again, we use the traction grenades, so we're able to inflict tow. The Blazing Zone comes up, it triggers a continuous damage effect or a dome around that's kind of just melting the enemies. You want this in double gold, but like the most important thing that I can stress with this is the spawn rate. The reason why I'm running this with gold and purple is because the spawn rate's at 96%. 100% is what we're after, but at least this way that the Blazing Zone is applying. So when you're using your traction, these guys are taking damage. Not that they're going to survive the hacks with the sword, but at least your Blazing Zone is spawning all the time when you use your traction grenade. So that's the crux behind it. I don't have a double gold one yet, but that is that's the play. That's what we're kind of searching for. But again, 96%, as you can see, some of them are at 86, 89, 90. It just doesn't cut it. So just make sure you got a good one that's got an extremely high spawn rate. So when it comes to the, and I mean, I guess to get into the modules real quick, mid-air maneuvering standard, you just want to make sure you have that one so you're able to gain the module capacity. With this build, again, firearm attack does not benefit us at all. I tested this out. I was in the lab just kind of playing around just to see what would help. Shot focus is useless, as well as the power unit charge. As you can see, it increases firearm attack instead. It does not benefit your melee weapon. So it's useless. There's really nothing else on here that's really going to help our melee or our weapon attack damage. There's stuff here for gun, but nothing for melee. So that leaves us with really one, you know, transcendent module to use, which is the regenerative braking. And again, at least it allows us to recover MP when using a skill. So every time we're throwing the traction grenade down, which is quite a bit, we're able to, you know, on a very low cooldown rate, have a, you know, a 17% MP recovery chance at a 12% rate. So those percentages are kind of low, but at least we're getting something out of this instead of running just a blank, you know, transcendent module slot. At least we can put this on here. That directly helps at least MP recovery, so we're able to, you know, continuously spam the traction grenade. And again, when it comes to, like, again, your weapon focus, again, nothing to do with firearm attack. So I know everybody runs it with a shot focus. This does nothing. As you can see, it's firearm attack. It would be nice that every one of these that said firearm attack directly benefited melee, but it does not. It does not. So just keep that in mind when you're building out your build. And again, we just want everything that we're doing is, you know, primarily focused on this traction grenade. The cooldown, I have it at 3.4 with the duration at 3.7. I have a perfect loop. So every time I'm able to just throw this sucker down, and right as it's expiring, so the enemies can't get a breath, they can't get a break, and we're just on them in their face with the sword, you know, with tons of survivability to outlast just any boss. Like, it's pretty crazy. Absolutely love this build. Again, the, you know, the overclock, you know, the only thing that really you gain from this is the movement speed. At 20%. Everything else is irrelevant. You know, you might be able to use the overclock to get the additional burn damage when you're using your toe, but again, it doesn't matter. It's on grenade throw or overkill, so even your traction is not benefiting from that. The only benefit to overclock, again, is movement speed increase at 20%, and it just sucks, you know, MP out of you. I really don't use this as much. I pop it out of habit. But again, this isn't going to do anything or help increase any of your damage, you know, through your weapon or anything like that. Even if it was, you know, even if we went back to the power unit charge, and we were to use and reduce that, again, everything I can see here is related to firearm attack, explosive attack. Nothing that's going to help us with melee attack. So it's kind of a useless mod, unfortunately. So again, you can't pop this, but again, you're only gaining an additional 20% movement speed. That's all it's doing for you. Spamming the traction grenade that pulls this whole build together. And again, we're running it with the regenerative braking to just regen some of that MP losses that's happening just by, you know, spamming the traction grenade. When it comes to our ancestor module, again, nothing to do with skill power, firepower. All that stuff is irrelevant. We want skill cooldown, you know, some range for our traction grenade, and reduced skill cost would be, you know, the three that we would be looking for this particular build. So everything, again, built with this build is there's a little bit of survivability, 2 modules for survivability. Everything else is related to range, cooldown, cost, and duration. So again, we run this with the skill expansion and the maximize range, just maximizing the range of the traction grenade. The bigger the field, the more we can pull the enemies in and bring them into the you know, the hitbox range of our shadow and just absolutely decimate the mobs. We've got it on our cooldown, so we're running with the MP conversion and the nimble fingers. Comes to our duration, again, maximize duration and the skill extension. And then we come into the survivability. Again, we were able to open up the slot because the shot focus is no longer needed. So we're able to run this with increased defense and the stim accelerant. So we're getting a little bit of an MP decrease, but we're maximizing the sheer amount of HP that we have, and we're just fully into our increased defense as well. The survivability, I can't stress this enough, is huge. It's one thing to be able to clear, to get good clear times, but I don't see the benefit in getting an insane clear time 1 out of every 10 runs because you're dying. That's my personal opinion. Clear times are great. I want fast clear times, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to die while trying to achieve those clear times, or having a 1 in 10 run where it's like you said, a 1 good clean run out of 10 that I've died for. That ain't it. In my personal opinion, that's just not it. So again, we've got that covered. This build is tanky. It is so deadly. I cannot stress how fun this build is. It's fucking so good, so fun. Okay, so the Shadow, love this weapon. I picked it over the Hypernova just because of its special ability, the Shadow, the Shadow Dash and the Shadow Slash. Unique abilities. Again, you get increased melee weapon damage, a little bit of increased range for it, and you're just able to control it. Like, you can hop up in the air, be in the air, and then trigger this thing and then swoop down on the enemies and kill them. It's just very versatile. I just really preferred the Shadow over it. Not that the other melee weapons aren't great. The other swords aren't great, and you can run them with this build, and please do just check them all out. I just really enjoyed the Shadow, so I went with it. As you can see, weapon melee attack, we got the toxic on there. The Shadow is primarily toxic attack, so we just built into that a little bit more. We've got the 3 additional attack damage cores slapped on there. On the bottom attributes, again, additional attack chance, which is huge. More attack damage, and melee weapon toxic, again, just specking into a little bit of elemental attack. And then we've also got the just straight melee weapon attack. So fantastic build for it. Alright, so we'll start off with the special and the battle proficiency. Slaughterer, huge. So again, when landing additional attacks, this is why additional attacks are huge. We gain additional attack damage for 3 seconds up to 3 stacks, so additional 21%. And then it inflicts fatal wounds, so this is really nice. The fatal wounds deals damage equal to 6% of melee weapon damage at regular intervals for 3 seconds up to 3 stacks. So another 18% of our total weapon damage is just being inflicted on the enemies on a tick basis. So it's like I can hit enemies with it, and then they're ticking for massive amounts of damage as well. Love this module with the with the additional attack and with the Shadow. Really have been enjoying this module with it. And again, for the defense master, when defeating an enemy, boom, we get an additional 130% defense for 10 seconds on a 15% cooldown. But again, this defense master, everything that I built into it, the survivability, it just feels nice. It's just, you don't have to worry at all about the survivability, and you're just wrecking them with this blade. It's wild. So we follow that up with a couple of penetration module enhancements to get our piercing up. Exquisite Strike for the additional attack chance and attack speed. We've got the double edge extension. Again, this is attack damage, attack speed. We've got the Exquisite Sword. Again, this is just raw melee weapon attack damage, but we also gain some additional attack chance. It's very low, but again, just helps that percentages out. Again, more range with the melee weapon. We need that range. We've got our attack speed modifier. Just slap that in, so we're able to swing the sword as fast as we possibly can. More swings, more damage, and then just a raw, weapon attack with the hardened reinforcement. So those are the modules that I run with it. Insane, absolutely love this build. It wrecks higher level content, but I was just looking for a weapon build that'd be viable. The swords are it. The weapons just aren't doing it, even with the other modules and stuff in there. It's just not enough damage to clear them. But the sword, the Shadow, will clear them, and it's an extremely fun build. I hope this helps. I hope you guys build on it. I hope you guys try it. I absolutely love it. GG's. Fucking won this one here. It's like this is a 5-minute run if I can focus. And have the time of my life. We good? We move. Let's fucking go. It just fucking destroys the bosses. Like, the traction is helping with the mobs, and that fucking sword just fucking melts the fucking elites, yellow bars, fucking bosses. No, what the fuck did I do? Hit the wrong motherfucking button. Where are you? Yeah, get over here. Join the fucking party. Growl. This is the real test right here. Can we fuck this guy up? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes, we can. Yeah, 451. We def. Alright, this is another good one. Yeah, I might need to... Oh, what did that mean? We were doing pretty good. Holy shit, just running into the fucking walls everywhere. Look for that shit. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, at least that's something to look forward to. zoom. $34 mil.